Hi guys, how are you? I haven't seen you guys in a while, so I'm just coming on here to say hello. You know, I'm actually home. I just came from the gym. Just wanted to say hello. Sorry guys. I know I have a bad habit of itching my scalp, but it is what it is. But just wondering how you guys are doing today on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. How are you guys this afternoon? So that's how I look when I'm dressed up. This is how I look when I'm dressed down. Um, I'm here having a smoothie. You know, so I went to this place, Surfside Squeeze, for smoothie, and they were closing. She kept saying, "Oh, I'm closing. I can make a smoothie, but we're closing." But if you're in the service industry, don't do that. Like if you're closing, don't rush someone to order because you're closing. That's very rude. Like and then they ask for a tip. Why do you think I would not tip someone that's rushing me to order? I'm very indecisive. I went in at about 450. I'm sorry, 350. And they were closing at 4. So I wanted a smoothie. So I was asking her about the smoothie. She's like, "Ma'am, I have to just make your smoothie because we're closing soon, but don't rush me." And then they have the nerve to ask for a tip. Hi, Janisha. I'm in the US. Janish. I'm sorry. I said Janisha. Janish. I'm in the USA, but I'm from Jamaica, but I live in the US. So right now, I'm drinking a mango pineapple smoothie. It is like my lunch. You know? So when you work in the service industry, make sure that you're kind to your customers. Make sure that you don't rush them when they're ordering something. Make sure that you treat them the way that you want to be treated. Because you will not get a tip if you're rude. From me, I will not tip you. How is it in India? What time is it there? I'm sure India is very hot. So you will not get a tip from me if you're in the service industry and you treat me rude. You don't ask for a tip, don't rush your customers, don't treat them rude. certain habits you should not do when you're working in the service industry. Now, also, if you work in a food area, like you're making smoothies or doing anything that have to do with food, you're supposed to wear a hairnet. Why is your hair out or fine? Hair can go into the food. It was like a sandwich shop, like a Subway that makes smoothies, and they didn't have a hairnet or gloves. And I hate that. You know, I would normally call people out for that, but I did not want to argue with the lady today. But you have to wear gloves and a hairnet when you work in the food industry. That's just disgusting to serve people with no gloves. Like, don't touch my food, because I will complain and will not buy the food. So, Ganesh, you're in India? Okay. What time it is in India? Right. I won't eat your food. Or, that's why I like to do stuff at home on my own, because a lot of people are not clean. Like you're supposed to wear gloves if you work at a restaurant. So now for this store, I will be complaining. I'm that person that will complain when I see things like that. You're supposed to wear hairnets and gloves. It's unsanitary, you know? The someone behind me is me. It's my picture. So I was showing you guys that's me when I'm all dressed up, and this is me right now because I just came from the gym. So it's the same person. It's me. Now that outfit is a perfect, see, I'm showing it to you. It's a perfect Thanksgiving outfit. And I just recently, last weekend, that was me dressed up. So I just came from the gym. I came from a workout. So, this is how I look. Oh, I would love to come to India. I heard that India is beautiful, but I don't like countries that don't treat women well, because in America, I'm free, even though people might say in America women are treated bad as well. But I don't want any limits on how I act, or what I should wear. I can't speak this way or I can speak that way, but women should have etiquette and should, carry themselves a certain way. But I don't want to be forced to be, I don't want any country that don't respect women. So I may go to India, but I may not. I'm from Jamaica. We're a free island. We women get to do whatever they want. So to go to India where women are seen below men, I don't know if I can do that. But I know a lot of people from India. I heard it's a very nice country, but that's the only thing that I don't like. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming into my live. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I'm trying to build my followers. Hi, Jasmine. Hi, Ron. Rawand. Sometimes I can't pronounce the names. I do apologize for that. I'm not good with names, but I do try my best. So I was pretty much talking about this service industry, how if you work in a service industry, that you should be, thank you so much, that you should treat people well in order to get a tip. Now, I'll tip you if you're a nice person, but if you're mean, if it's not mandatory, I won't tip. And because I treat people with respect and care. And also, when you work in a restaurant, be sanitary, wear a hairnet and gloves. It's not good for you to serve food. Um, that's a photo, and the girl behind me is me. It's funny. It's a photo, and it's me. You guys can't tell it's me? That's strange. I just have a little bit of makeup on in the photo, and I have no makeup on now. But that's me standing up. I could go put on that outfit and do the same thing, and I look the same. But If you work in the service industry, please be kind to others. Thank you so much, Jasmine. You know, smoothies are good. It tastes natural. It's a mango pineapple, but I feel like they put milk, and I don't like milk in my smoothie. But if I do milk in my smoothie, I do like oat milk. I don't do whole milk. Jasmine, where are you from? You know? And what are you guys doing today? This is very good. I just, after you work out, you feel like having a smoothie. This small cup was $5. I guess it's not bad. $5 for this cup. So what do you guys normally do on a Saturday evening? And where are you from and what time? Right now, it's 4:21, and I'm in the US on the East Coast. So it's 4:21. Right now it's getting dark, guys, at 4:21 p.m. Like, can you believe it? It's getting dark. So normally what we do here, people go out to eat, they go to movies, people are shopping, getting ready for Thanksgiving, or they're just home hanging out with their friends. What story can I tell? Where are you? Yeah, it's 4:22 here and it's already getting dark and we're on the East Coast. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's like they're forcing us to stay in the house, you know? You have to do things early, and if you're working or you have how can you be no one wants to go out early to be entertained, going to the movies at 11 o'clock. It's crazy. If you have children, you don't want to take them out when it gets dark. I definitely don't. I don't like being out when it's dark. I can be in my town or drive around my town because it's nothing really happens. It's quiet. It's a small town. But to go elsewhere, I don't like that in the winter or around we're in the fall, but I call it the winter because it's cold out and it gets dark so quickly. So I just stay home. I do stuff in the morning and then by this time we're home. But I'm not Muslim. I just have a headband. I don't know the Muslim religion. I'm not Muslim. I was raised Christian. But I must say, I do listen to gospel. I don't go to church as much as I should, like once in a while, which is not good. Um, I do listen to like every morning, I'll listen to like an hour of church or something, but to actually go into church, I go like maybe 3 or 4 times a year, which is very bad. I'm not proud of that. I will try in 2026. That should be my New Year's resolution to go to church more. You know, I was not forced to go to church as a child, so I was not that kid that was forced. We didn't go every Sunday, but we did go like every other Sunday. And the weird thing is my parents didn't go to church with us. They sent us to church. So we would go to like children church, and so I that's why I'm not used to church. But I do go to church, but not as often as I should. And I would like to raise my children in church because I know people might be mad at me. And I try not to talk religion on here because everyone's religion is different. But I just think my children should be know God or they should be raised in church. I think kids need a structure and something to look up on, like to fall back. Like even if they say later in life, oh, I don't believe in God or whatever, then the God that they knew as a kid will be embedded in them. So they might return to God as they, grow up. So I definitely do want to have my kids raised in church. They're still young, you know? Okay. No, is that a science? Are you a scientist? No, I don't know that. I can't talk about Muslim because I don't know anything about the Muslim religion. I have no idea. I could not talk about Muslim. Or is it Islam? They're Muslim. The religion is Islam. See, I have no idea, so I cannot touch on that. I know I did have to read the Quran in college for some reason. We had a class, I think it was a religion class, and I had to read the Quran. I don't remember a thing about it, but I did pick it up and I read it. Right. I believe God is within you. Yeah, I do. God is my God. I feel like Jesus and God are not the same people. I don't want to speak religion because you guys will be mad at me. I told you I'm not super religious and I need to study my religion more. I mean, I do pray. I'm close to God, but the Jesus and God I still don't understand, which is really bad, you know? I don't talk about religion because I am not super religious. I did get baptized though, so it's really bad. There's because they would consider me a Christian who slid backwards, but I just need to learn to do more. Me personally, I pray. I walk life a very. I'm a very I know people will say good person, but I'm a person who walk life on a straight line. Like I do things the right way. I follow rules and things like that. But the only thing that I need to work on, I think, is going to church more and become more deeper in my faith. You know, that's definitely as I grow and I'm already older, but I need to pray more. I need to read my Bible more. I need to go to church more. And now that we're talking, I might get up tomorrow and go to church. Can I choose Jesus as God? I just said I think Jesus and God are two different people. But that's I don't want to talk about religion because I'll sound really silly. You're so right. I feel like everyone do have their own way of connecting to the higher power. I definitely feel there is a God because like I said, I went to church. I'm Christian Baptist, so all those teachings are still in me, you know? And I believe in God. I believe there's a God because I do feel him and I don't feel like I'm walking on earth by myself, meaning someone is leading and guiding me. It's not just by my own understanding. No, it's not because some of the things that I've been through, I don't think I could have gone through that on my own as a human being and have so much strength to survive everything. Not like I've been through the worst, but I've been through a lot. I can't tell all my personal business here, but I've been through a lot, some things some people haven't been through, but I'm the type of person that don't let whatever I go through bring me down. Like I will always strive about above my difficulties or my challenges. So that's definitely me. I don't cry over the things I do cry, but you won't know. Like you won't know if you saw me in person, because I don't show what I'm going through outside. I internalize everything, think about it, talk about God. I'm the type of person that asks why, curious about why it happened, and find ways to try to solve the problem. I feel like Jesus was a human being too. Me personally, I feel like Jesus was a human that he believed in God so much and he followed God, and God made him like an example to others. So there's some people, I would not say they're godlike, but there's some people on earth who are very pure. They walk life in a very clean, good way, and they're very much examples to others. Now there's people who are live free and they want to cause havoc, and they think, there shouldn't believe in God, there shouldn't be a God, there shouldn't follow God, there is no God. But if there is no God, then who is ruling you? Do you really think we're ruling and controlling ourselves? That's why I can't talk about religion, because my views are different from other people's views. Even though there's a teaching, I would have to get taught and study my Bible more to, actually talk about religion with you guys. And that's what I'll do since we're talking about religion. I'll start reading my Bible more. When I was younger, I read the entire Bible, but I don't remember anything, which is so weird. I used to read the Bible every day when I was like a teenager. I read all the Bible. I agree with you, no. I agree with you. You know? But to each his own. A lot of people are going to spirit. I can't even pronounce the word. They're being more spiritual now, and it's like if you can be spiritual, but I feel like spiritual is still related or connected to God. It's related. You're still connecting to a higher power. A lot of people feel like religion is in them. They're their own God. But how can we be our own God? If we were our own God, don't. It's like a very, very tough topic to talk about. And, I don't like talking about it. It's just, I feel like, okay. So you don't believe, okay. Okay, I understand. So you don't believe in God. You're agnostic. Based Okay, so you believe in anything. So, see, I can't talk to you about religion, but I mean, if that's who you are, that's who you are. I cannot go against you for that because that's you. You can believe in what you want and you cannot believe in what you want. That's you as an individual. It's your life. I cannot put what I believe on anyone, and you can't put what you believe on anyone. Everyone have their own walk. Everyone have their own life. Everyone is connected to me. We're all connected, but we each have to face what the maker when we are 6 feet under on our own. We'll be by our own in our own selves. So in life, you can believe and do what you want as long as you're not hurting anyone or hurting yourself. Okay. I get it. I get what you're saying, Omni. You are too deep for me right now. You're very deep. Okay, I get what you're saying. You know, I feel like we're all here for a purpose. So you believe in pretty much anything could happen. So I don't know. Some people have that feelings, but it's just hard with the things, you guys don't believe that we're amongst aliens or miracles happen? Do you guys believe in psychics that people can see your future, look in your palm and know things? How do they know? Like, how can they tell you things that are going to happen before it even happens? How is that even possible? You know, how come some people have those abilities and some people don't? You know, how come some people can sing and some people can't? It's just, the world is very weird. It's a mystery. You know, it's, there's a lot of supernatural activities. It's just a lot of, you know, things that you have to think and wonder how, why, and things that we will never know until we're not no longer here. When we're no longer here, then we'll see why all these things are so, you know? It's just, the world is very weird to me. It's very strange. Okay. Do you okay. So we exist to think new potential. I don't know. I don't know if I, you know, agree with that, but maybe we exist to think new potential possible. You know, we're here to possible because everything to me is like a revolving cycle. You know, most of our ancestors have lived how we've lived. They've lived on earth, different experience, but they have been on earth, they're gone. We're here, then we're gone. It's just, I don't know. It's all very strange. Okay, so it's a potential, it's not a belief. Okay, I understand. And why did you become agnostic? Did something happen that you just say, I'll be agnostic? Or because you're not able to pinpoint or touch, you know, God or see God, or see there's certain unknown that you don't see. So you're agnostic. You believe anything could happen. But the saying is, if you believe in nothing, you could fall for anything. So if you believe in nothing, you can fall for anything. And I feel that would be someone who's agnostic. They could fall for anything, but I may be wrong. But I guess that's a good way to live. Like, you know, you don't believe or until you see. But I feel like you will see when you get to the other side, if you even believe there's another side. If you even believe there's another side, you'll see it. I guess you're right. That makes sense. You know, I guess it's a form of control. Religion is, excuse me, control. Oh my God. You know what? You're confusing me on this Saturday. You're too deep. Can we lighten the conversation? Like, you're too deep. You're not saying that I'm not intelligent, but the conversation is deep. But I do like how you think. But I do you believe in you know, people say we're spirits. You know, I believe we're spirits. I feel like we're housed in the human body. Now, I believe that, you know. And when we dream sometimes, I feel like we travel because I have dreamt certain things, and it might sound creepy to you guys, but I have dreamt certain things and then it happens after my dream. So it's like I've been there before and it happens. Like, say, this might sound creepy to you guys, but it's very true. Like, in my family, if someone is, before my grandmother passed away, I dreamt that I was at her house, like a crowd of people at her house. I was sitting in the living room and talking to my aunt and all my cousins. Now, at that time, my grandmother lived in Jamaica. She didn't live here. And I was in the living room talking to them in Jamaica. And it was a crowd of people around me. That was before she passed away. And then, we were happy in the dream celebrating. But when I woke up, I didn't feel good. Like I had a bad feeling in that dream. I mean, when I woke up, the dream was, it was bad, but and then maybe a couple months later she passed away. And then the dream, what I dreamt, I was in her living room with a crowd of people at the house, that happened. So I saw me there before it even happened. So I feel like we're very much spirits housed in a body. And so, but our spirits travel. That's based because of my dream and just certain things that happened to me. Now, I can, and this is not like just me, like my family itself. Like if my mom dreams it, then we see that means somebody's gonna pass away. Like I'm always in a crowded area and I dream of a celebration. So if I have that dream, it's not a good dream. Okay. So why would I have that? Why would someone have astral projection? Remote tethering. So who would do that for me to dream that? This happened. When did she pass? About 10 years ago, 11 years ago. So this happened 11 years ago, you know? And then it happened to me when my cousin passed away. So I always dream that, but I don't know who's passing away, but I see myself in the location before, it even happened. But that's interesting. So, I think it's just a gift, but some of us, I think if we tap into ourselves, then we'll be able to understand that. But me personally, I don't understand it and it freaks me out. So I don't try to tap into that too much, you know? But this is quite interesting. Oh, astral projection. I have to now read about that. I will do more research, you know? Because I don't know much. I just know about what I learned in the Bible, what I know about God. And they talk about aliens on Earth. We're living amongst aliens. It's just, there's mermaids in the sea. It's just so much. And I think some people can, but I'm just wondering why there are people who can see certain things and others can't. Do you guys believe that people actually see ghosts? I have a cousin that said she saw my grandmother sitting in um her room. Like she was in the room and she actually saw my deceased grandmother. Now my grandmother passed away before, a long time ago. I was probably 5 or 6 years old, long, long time ago. And I'm like in my 40s. I know I look young, but I'm currently in my 40s. So she passed away a long time ago. Neutral. Okay. So why would someone have a shared dream? Because we're connected, like me and my mom are connected. But it's not just me and my mom. It's like my family have that skill. And if we dream, if I say, oh, I dream this person in this color, it's like she can tell something is up. She can tell me what the dream means or what's going to happen. And it's normally is true. And most of my family members have that skill. Now, I tell people this all the time and they don't have that. So I guess it's hereditary in our family. I don't know. Why would some people have that and some people don't? Okay. Let me scroll up and read one moment. Two paragraphs. You're saying people call it astral projection. The FBI call it the remote tethering. Neutral alignment of perspective need. Dreams could be alternate universes, pocket dimensions we form in a universal, unconscious, or mental grafting of perceptual prediction. Still very confusing, but shared dreams are also confirmed. Okay. I'm still confused as to why it would be like a family thing. Is it hereditary, or because I speak to friends and they don't have that, you know? And if I have a dream in a crowded area and it's a friend in the dream, then that means my friend, someone is going to pass away. And it's happened to me, and I tell my friends, so they don't like for me to tell them that when I have the dream. So, and I'm not lying. It's really true. And I when I wake up from those dreams, I'm not feeling good. It's like I'm celebrating in the dream, but when I wake up, it's a very bad feeling, you know? But I will definitely look up the Project Stargate because, that's interesting. And Omni, we're not from the US. So why would they do that to us anyways? You know? Oh, that's quite interesting. That's interesting. We're Jamaican, so I don't know. That's interesting. But I feel like a lot of people have, I don't know if you believe in psychics because you didn't say yes or no, whether you believed in psychics, but um, a lot of people, like in their family, they can see the future and stuff. But I'll do more research on what you're talking about now. But I've heard of the Stargate project, but I don't know the Stargate project in depth. But I will definitely do more research because it sounds quite interesting what you're talking about. You're really teaching me something today. That's why I like to go on live, because I always meet someone that will bring a lot of knowledge to me. Some things that I normally would not really think about or go into. So I really like that because I'm a curious person. I like to know things. And some people on my life, they're not in my circle, like probably not, they're from all over the world, different parts of the country. And so when I speak to you guys, I like that I get new knowledge and new information. And I definitely go read upon things after, you know. So I thank you so much for all this information, Omni. Or no, I'm sorry. I must be pronouncing your name wrong, your username, but thank you for this information. It's really it's it's good information. Okay. So in tarot, you believe like if a card falls out, then that's when you read it. But if they keep flipping the cards, then you don't think that that's proper. Amni Etlet. I'm not gonna pronounce that. I just have. Is that just your username? What I have, Amnam Elete React. I'll do Amnam. That's a long name. Where are you from? So I don't do tarot cards. No way. But I do believe in psychics. I don't know. I don't know if I don't know, I do, but they everything creeps me out, guys. Just the unknown creeps me out. The world is kind of scare it's not scary, but it's very interesting how things happen, you know? How the human mind works, how people work, how we operate. It's just very strange, you know? It's very interesting. Okay, so you believe in psychics who can touch something and know information. I actually think, psychics who can't touch and they can see, like they look at you and they just know so much. One time I went to the grocery store and someone just looked at me and he said something, a psychic, and it creeped me out because the person didn't know me. And I was like, that's it, why are you doing that? It's creepy when someone you don't know just walk up to you and say something. Like, I have a brother he has mental health, and my mom, I don't know if she believed in psychic, but she was working at a store, and so a lady came up to her and said, "Your son." Now she doesn't have just one son; she have three sons. She said, "Son, your someone did something to your son," but she doesn't believe in psychic, so she didn't get information. But if that was me, I would want to know everything about, what happened to my child, or what are you talking about, and blah blah blah. But I do have a brother who, he struggles with mental health, and it's just hard. Some people think mental health is just an easy thing, but it's not easy for the family. Like if you known, like me, I know my brother normal. I wouldn't say normal because are we really normal? I knew him functioning as, like me, talking, doing things, working, driving, all those things, and he cannot do that anymore. And I feel like, with mental health, they put people on medications, and if you try to get off the medication, it's going to affect you, like you won't be able to get back to normal. Not everyone, it depends on what type of mental health you have. But it depends, but some people, they cannot, they have to stay on medication their whole life. So I remember my sibling when, I would say that was the best sibling. You could call him. He would be there. If I wanted to go somewhere, he would be there with me, or we would talk on the phone. He was just the best brother. And I say I have three, but I'm not diminishing what my other brothers are. But he was like a very great brother to me. So to see this, we can live life like me. I could live life normally, and not saying we all could live life normally because anything could happen, but I live life normal. I get up, I can drive, I can cook my breakfast, take my kids here, do this. And when I see my brother, he can't do the normal things that I can do. And, we say we're living on this planet. We try to be content, but, are we really content seeing a family member, a sibling, a mother, father, struggling just to survive because mentally, whatever is going on in their head, they cannot control it. And the things that they do, it's like you can't comprehend. And a lot of people put judgment on the things. So when you see someone on the road, like maybe you see, like people call them crazy, when you see someone on the road, like doing, I don't want to say the word weird. I don't want to say weird, but doing things out of the norm that you would not do, or you would say a normal person would not do. Give them grace because you don't know what they're going through. Mental health is really bad, and it makes people do things that in their normal form that that person would not do, but it's like there's multiple people talking in their head, and they talk about it all the time, you know? What do you mean a shaman of untrained standard? Now that brother was very good, walked the right path, did everything right. Now he reminded me of me, like, not say he acted like, but he was like with kids. My parents have 6 kids. So I behaved, followed the rules, and I didn't get in trouble in school. Teachers didn't have to call. But I have siblings who, the teachers would call all the time. They would get in trouble. They would be at friends' house, not, my parents wouldn't know where they were. And I get it. Some teenagers, they're just free and they are rebels, what you call it. They do what they want to do. I'm not knocking anyone, but I do understand some people cannot be, you know, some people are just who they are. But my brother and me, no teachers call. No, we did our work in school. We did good grades. We did everything. So to see a child, and he's younger than me, so I still call him my little brother. To see someone just transition like that, that's why I think the world is very strange and different. We can't think because we're normal now or we're gonna stay the same. We might, but things can change so drastically. And in this situation, I think it changed so drastically that it's not like they're codependent on medication. He cannot get off the medication. And I feel like people should have, the doses should be small, but when you don't understand it, I think they say he has, you guys don't know him, but like schizophrenia. And that can't, they need medication, because if you see the episodes of how he acts when he's not on the medication, it's not pretty. He lives with my parents, so it's not, they don't know how to comprehend it and they don't know how to understand it because, a lot of Jamaicans are not used to it. No one in my family is used to it. So it's pretty much we have to deal with it. And I've talked to doctors, I've talked to professionals about it, I've read about it, but a lot of people think marijuana is a good drug. But, I'm going off topic all over the place now. But you know that it leads to schizophrenia in young men. Okay, so this started with him in, I would say, his mid 20s, mid to late 20s. He is now 39 years old. So the signs were there, but we did not notice it. Okay, so certain things he used to do, like he used to cover the mirrors because he did not want to see himself. So he used to wear dark glasses. Like he didn't want to see himself. And then he disappeared. And when we were like, where was he? Then the doctors called and say, oh, he's in another state, where no families were in that state. So we're talking to them and it's not like he's communicating. So it's like, even when he's talking, he doesn't make sense because, I feel like everything and the medication and all his experiences in brain is probably like all jumbled up, and there's different people talking to him in his brain, so the medication have to help. So my thing about marijuana, people are really promoting it, the smoking of it, and I don't think it's good because it can really mess up, someone's brain who's not strong enough, excuse me, who's not strong enough to handle it. And I feel like in his case, that was the case. He did, or either they swiped it with something. But as a big sister, I told you guys that I walked a very straight path. When I was younger, I didn't drink. I've never smoked. I didn't drink. I didn't party. I just went to school, studied. I was strict into my books. So I would tell my little brother, don't smoke. Don't do that. It's not good for you. Like it's not good for you. Don't do it. Like, don't. I used to just talk to him like a big sister would talk to a brother. Yeah, don't do it. But now I feel like he did it because, family members did it. We're Jamaican, but, that's what is it? That's a stereotype that all Jamaicans smoke weed, because I don't smoke it. I've never done it. And I will never do it because I've seen how it's affected people around me. You know, it actually have made people that were sane act kind of crazy to me, even if it don't go as far as schizophrenia. Their personalities have completely changed because of smoking marijuana. And people might talk bad about me, but it's based on what I've seen, guys. It's not good for everybody. Some people it's probably good for, but not everybody. In my siblings case, I feel like it was bad and it caused the schizophrenia. And it's research that it does cause that in like young men. So you guys have to be careful when you're smoking, or tell your kids not to do it, because it can really cause. I also have another cousin. She was like perfect, and then she went cuckoo. Like they blame. It's. I know people from my high school who they smoked it and they laced their thing, and now they're not the same. They're kind of crazy, and they have to take medication because they can never come. I shouldn't use the word crazy. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I would say they're mental. They're not the same. And even saying mental is bad, but they're just not the same people. They can't function on their own accord. They need some type of medication. Okay, I'm reading what you're saying now. Sorry. Okay. So, shaman, a human able to find. Right. I believe maybe he's a shaman. You're right. It makes sense because I'm telling you, at one point, it sounded like he was two different people talking when he's not on his medication. His voice would be normal and it would turn like a deep voice that I was not used to. We were not used to. So it's like the person, it's a good and bad. You know, like how we say we have an angel here and an angel and the devil. So it's like you could actually see it in him, you know? You can't see it in him, but the way he was talking, it sounded like one was a good person and one was bad. And he would say we were not his siblings, so he wouldn't recognize us as his family. So whoever he would say, "Oh, we're not his family." He wouldn't recognize his parents, so we knew it was like something was really wrong, you know? So if you feel like someone have a vessel, right? So how do you help someone in that way? Because they do give them medication, but you know, he cannot smoke it anymore because it actually makes it worse. It does not help it. Even when they're on medication, I guess some people they can smoke it and it makes them better, but others they just can't handle it. They cannot. And when I talk to people that I'm strongly against it, you know, I get a lot of pushback, especially people who did it. Like I get a lot of pushback, but because I have witnessed how it has affected people close to me in a very bad way, you know? And I learned that smoking weed can cause early dementia. You know, they will do research. It can cause early dementia because, you know, a lot of people, you know, their brains, it's like delay you. It makes you like forget stuff. Like, why would you want to mess up your brain? My brain is very important to me. I feel like I like to be intellectual. I like to know stuff. I'm curious. So that's why I never smoke, because I don't want to affect my brain. And I don't drink a lot because it that also affects your brain too, drinking and getting drunk. So I might be a social drinker, but I don't drink a lot either, you know? And not saying everything that we put in our body is good, because, you know, the food, some of the foods that we put in our body is not the greatest. We have to be careful, you know? Right. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm sorry he's dealing with that too, because, you know, as a family member, you do want to solve the problem. You talk to doctors and everything, but it's hard. The reason why I'm talking about it, because he just had another episode and we had to take him to the emergency room. And, you know, my parents are in their late 60s. So it's very hard for them and they don't comprehend it because when you speak to them, they're asking him why, but it's like he probably cannot explain to them why it's happening. When people have a mental health issue, they cannot explain. I also have someone very close to me who have depression, and I tried to ask her, and I felt bad because I did not understand it myself. Because, women like me, we have PMS. Sometimes we get down, but once the PMS is gone, we're back to being normal and happy. So I was asking the individual, why can't you be happy? You have your family, like what's happening? But they cannot explain why they're sad, or they said sometimes they get like they don't want to be on earth anymore. And it's like people like us, I wouldn't say me, who don't have like a mental health problem, we don't comprehend, and we should not judge because there's people who really they're going through it and they have to use. I know a lot of us don't use medication or don't agree with medication, but some medication actually, excuse me, it helps, it helps. Okay. I do know people who smoke and they have not been affected either. So I've seen it both ways, really, but and I don't judge people for smoking because everyone have their own vices. I have things that I do that's probably not the best. I sometimes can chop too much, that's a problem. I do drink, but not that much. But everyone have their own vices. I don't judge, but I just feel like we need to really take care of how what we do to our body and how our brains are affected. I feel like smoking can definitely affect your brain, because you get affected. And I know some people just need it. I would prefer for people to like make it in a tea, drink a tea or something. The tea might have a better benefit to you than smoking it. Like if you boil a tea, drink the tea, that might be good, have a better health benefits. Because I know back in the day, in my grandparents' day in Jamaica, they used to drink the tea. But some people, their bodies can't, their bodies cannot control it. I feel like me personally, I wouldn't be able to handle marijuana. I wouldn't because of how my brain is. Like my brain is constantly going, and I don't want that to affect that. I like thinking. I'm an overthinker, and I don't want it to mess that up. I don't want it to, if I say I decide to go back to school, I don't want it to affect anything in that sense. So that's why I don't do it. That's why I don't drink that much. I social drink because all those things can affect us in a very bad way. And not saying some sort of foods that we eat can't, but we do have to be very careful in what we intake in our bodies. Be very careful because, and America has pushed marijuana freely on America. So you guys have to wonder why. Why are they doing that? It's a drug that makes you, you know, um, what does it do? It makes you calm down. If you guys smoke, let me know. So it makes you calm down. It makes you mellow. It makes you, but I feel like it makes people who smoke it and try to stop and have seen it, it makes them very moody and irritable. So, like I said, guys, I'm Jamaican, so I've been around people. I don't do it myself, but I've been around plenty of people who have done it, people in my family and people, friends. Some of my friends, they don't do it often. But maybe they've done it. They try to hide it from me because they know I don't. So my friends, sometimes the ones who do it, they hide it from me. And but I don't judge. Like I said, I just want to protect you. I'm not perfect either. I have my vices, but I just feel like, as a sister, a friend, a cousin, someone on social media, I'm just protecting you. I'm giving you my experience on how the drug has affected people around me. you know it's some people's brains cannot handle it, but I've seen people who they can function quite well. I work in a corporate job, and people say they do it and they function quite well. So it depends on the person. It depends on the individual. you know Smoking depend on how your brain is wired. Some of our brains can't handle certain things. Some people, they have trauma and their lives are affected forever. They have a mental problem that cannot be fixed. So anything can mess up the wiring of your brain. Anything. you know some people, they're able to, like, suppress things, and then it will come out later and they have a mental breakdown or explosion. So in life, we can't judge people. We just have to try to work with others. You never know what others are going through. Like I said, I try to be content. I have family members who have mental health. I don't want people to judge others based on mental health. If you see someone out there, help them. People are very rude and they will laugh at people out there, especially if you see like a homeless person that doesn't act the way you do, doesn't act what people consider normal. Just don't make fun of them. You don't know why they're there. Some of them have mental issues and they don't want to be home. They don't want to be amongst others. That's how they cope. Treat them kind and treat them well. And just that's my take on life, because I have seen people who have fallen from grace, people who have no control because it's a medical issue, and people who, you know, they do it and they're fine. It, you know, I don't judge, guys. That's why I said I have friends who I'll tell them I don't like it, but they're still my friends. They're still my friends. Hi, Larry Lamar. They're still my friends. I still talk to them. But thank you, Amno. Amno, for everything, all the conversation. Okay. Yeah. Amno, you're so intelligent. I'm telling you. But I feel like a lot of people who are smokers who smoke, they very intuitive and they know a lot, like, because I guess it makes you think, you learn. A lot of them are quite intelligent. Your African girls don't like you? Thank you. Chocolate milk. Yeah, my skin is chocolate. Not that chocolatey though. It's not that chocolatey. It's a little bit, brighter than chocolate, but it's still, I'm dark skin. I'm a dark skin girl. So I love the topics that we were talking about today. I know it's Saturday, they're heavy, but I'm just hoping everyone stay well. Oh yeah, Larry Lamar. I remember you from Clearwater, Florida. See? I remember you. I haven't heard from you in a while. I haven't been on. The topic that we were talking about was about, it was so much. So we were talking about, we touched on religion a little, which I say with religion, I'm not the person to talk on religion, because I do believe in God, but I have not been going to church the way I should. I do listen to, like, I'll pray. I listen to my, my prayers on YouTube. I'll watch those prayers, or morning prayer and nightly prayer, or try to read my Bible. And we talked about psychics, and also mental health. Enjoy, Omni. Thank you so much. You have a great night as well. Thank you so much for the conversation. It was good. We talked about mental health. We talked about mental health because I have a sibling who has a mental health issue. And we talked about people who smoke marijuana, how they should be careful because me personally, have experienced people who it's affected them in a bad way, but I do know that people who smoke, sorry, my nose is stuffy. People who smoke, people who smoke can function normally, and then people who don't, they can be affected greatly. I mean, some people who smoke can be affected, and some people who don't. Um, Sorry, my brain is just paused. I don't know why. But I hope you get what I'm saying. If you read the comments, you'll see it a little bit. Right now, I'm trying to get some water. I don't know. It's cold here, so it's making my nose like stuffy. I wish I was in Clearwater, Florida right now. Because you know what? It's so cold in Connecticut right now. You guys know I'm up north. So it's so cold, you know. I went to the gym for a little bit and now we're just home. It's dark. It's 5:16 p.m. and it's like so dark. Like it's jet black outside, you know? So right now I'm just home. I have nothing planned tonight, guys. Nothing. Really nothing. You know what? I have nothing planned. I'm just here. So what are you guys up to for tonight, you know? I'm just relaxing because last weekend I had a blast. I was away from home at a hotel party. It was a kids party, but I had a blast because, I was not in the room with the kids. I was by myself. I was on live with you guys too, you know? So tonight I have no plans. I love when I have no plans for the weekend because my week is busy, I have kids in sports and then I have kids in sports and then I have tutoring for kids, then I have to work, make sure dinner is cooked every night. So when I have nothing planned on the weekends, I am very happy. Like I'm not someone to complain to say, "Oh, I'm sad. I have to stay in." I get so happy that when I have no plans on the weekend because women, we need to relax. I guess a lot of people like to do things. I like to show you guys my life too sometimes on social media, but this is real life. Sometimes people stay home. Social media wanted you to do things every second of the day, like you do this, you do that. But sometimes I don't want to do anything. I just want to be home and sorry guys, I have to find my chapstick because my lips are kind of dry. I'm trying to find my lip gloss. I use Accuphor on my lip because the winter times, oh my god, the winter times you get really dry. So I'm just home chilling, doing nothing. I have to cook dinner because yesterday I always say I don't cook on the weekends, but yesterday we ordered out, so today I have to cook. And even though it's telling me that it's 5:20, it's not midnight, it's pitch black. It's just this daylight savings, what is daylight savings ending, whatever it is, I don't like it. It's just very depressing. So how are you guys doing? Let's chat. Let me know how everyone is doing. How are you doing on this beautiful Saturday? I don't know if it's what the temperature where you guys are. Up north, it's very cold. Um, it's dark now, so everyone is getting ready for Thanksgiving next week. I know everyone doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving, but my family, we normally have dinner, and I will be hosting, which is, I don't, I love to, I like the idea of hosting, but I don't like to host. But me and my sister live so close. We live like 5 minutes away from each other. And so the kids just come over, and then my parents, and then, it's not a lot of us. It's only four siblings now because one is not in town. So we all just try to get together to bring the kids. Now, I have a lot of family members here. Normally, I host just my immediate family, but Christmas, my aunt will host everyone, like all the cousins and everything. It's just too much. So for Christmas, I just drop in and then I'm like, bye, because I don't like to be, I don't know. I like just relaxing on holidays. I have the day off work. I don't like a lot of chaos, and I just like to relax. I can do one day of, a big, because my family is huge, guys. Not my immediate, but my cousins, my aunts, my uncles. It's a lot of us. So I hope you guys are doing well. I know I talked about earlier the service industry. Like, if you guys work in the service industry, be nice to your patrons, be nice to whoever you're serving. Don't be mad, Don't be mad because you're working in the service industry. Be happy, treat people well. Treat people good because you don't know. Treat people well because you might get like a huge tip based on how you treat people. You know, you never know who you're serving. Treat people good. You know, now it's so cold, guys. So, what are you guys doing? So, tonight I'll be home, watching Christmas movies. I don't drink much, but maybe I'll have a glass of wine tonight. Who knows? You know. Now you guys have to interact with me. You're here, but you're not talking. You're not talking. I don't like talking to myself. I like for you guys to conversate with me so that we can vibe together, you know? We can have like a nice conversation, you know? So, okay, guys. So let's hit on the hurricane in Jamaica now. The Jamaican hurricane, Hurricane Melissa, that has devastated the island of Jamaica. Now, a lot of people are donating and a lot of people are sending donations, but people are stealing the donations at the airport. Did you guys hear? I don't know if you guys heard Butcher Bantan, how he cursed and he did everything. I didn't like how he was cursing and going on. He could have relayed his message in a more positive way. I know what people did with stealing the stove and things out of his donation, his, they call it borrows, were not good, but the way that he cursed about the way the people stole from his things. He should have addressed it in a different way. But I guess with Jamaicans, sometimes they don't care how they address certain things. But I feel it's wrong when there's a hurricane and people are stealing. Like, why are you stealing? People need the items. Why are you stealing um, from a relief package, you know? So I feel like they need to check the people at the airport or the people at, I don't know, wherever the bars go. What do they call it? The wharf or something. They need to check them, fire them, because for you to steal to make a profit off of somebody's pain, it's really ridiculous. In a hurricane, a lot of people don't have homes. A lot of people are sleeping outside. I watched today on TikTok a lady, she was trying to cook and it was raining and her roof, the water was just pouring through the house, and the girl was, she was walking the house. I guess one side of the house was, the roof was messed up and the other side was dry, and water was just pouring. And you know, the celebrities are sending things to help these people, and I don't understand why people would steal, you know? Why are you stealing from others, you know, for relief? Like, people have no shelter. Some people are sleeping under a tent. Some people literally have nowhere to go. A lot of people who had their very big houses got blown away and everything. So people need to be mindful and have compassion for things, you know, and have compassion for people. So have compassion for others, and then people should have compassion for others, and um, people should have compassion for others. People should have. Is this your charger too? Sure. hmm People should have compassion for others. It's a smoothie. People should have compassion for others, you know, and don't try to, please, don't try to loot or steal from people who are down. Don't push someone down when they're already down. If someone is trying to do a good thing, like donating, don't steal. I don't understand how people are not afraid of karma. You know, karma is real. Why aren't you afraid that something bad is going to happen to you and your family members? Don't steal. If someone is donating for hurricane relief, why are you stealing from those items, you know? Because you're not affected, is that why you're stealing? Don't take from others that really need it. You know, and a lot of people will do that. They will steal from others because they know that they're not impacted. You know, they don't care. They disassociate. And it's not good. You can't disassociate because you're doing good so someone else, you don't care about somebody else's pain. Guys, it's not good, okay? It's not good that people are doing that. And, you know, it's just, I just don't understand. So, anyways, guys, are you ready for the holiday? I'm home. You guys can tell, right? Are you guys ready for the holiday? Are you guys ready for the holidays? Who you guys have to talk to me, and please like my live, and definitely like the live and share the live. You don't have to share it because it's our personal conversation, but you can like it, subscribe, and put on notification because I do like talking to you guys, and I always meet interesting people on my live that, you know, will school me. And what I do when you school me or give me a good topic or open up my brain to some knowledge that I did not know, I'll go research and I'll go look it up, you know? So, um, Guys, I thank you, but you're not talking to me at this point. So maybe we'll chat later. Maybe we'll chat later because it's 5:30 and like I said, I have to go cook, you know. My meals are like it will be about what? I'm making a quick meal because it's Saturday and I'm only cooking for what? 4 people today. Not it's and I don't my family they don't like leftovers, so I just cook food for them to have dinner tonight. So, are you guys ready for the holidays? Are you ready for the holidays? Well, I'm not really ready for the holidays. I took out my tree like maybe 3 weeks ago, but gifts, I have not bought any gifts. And because I don't believe in being excessive in gifts, I used to be when my kids were younger, you know? But I told my children maybe 1 or 2 gifts. But the gifts that they're mentioning is so pricey. Like they're mentioning, um, I'm sure people already have it, but electronics like VR headsets, PS5s, and I don't like them. I don't like the VR headsets. I don't like when kids have those, but that's what they're requesting. But I'm not, remember, I have 2 small boys, so I have to buy separate gifts for them. And then I have a son whose birthday is the day after Christmas, so I normally have to do a party for him. I don't do a party. Sometimes I just do a cake cutting so that, to keep his birthday special because I don't let Christmas take away from my son's birthday because it's still his birthday the day after. So we still celebrate. So whoever don't want to come, if they don't want to come, it's fine. But I invited who can come. But if normally I understand if others don't want to come or can make it to my son's birthday because it is the day after the holidays. So I get it. I don't force others to put on any additional expense that they can't manage. So normally I just for him it took me a long time to actually do a party outside of my house. I normally just have people come and I do a cake cutting. So I think last year was the first time I actually did something for him where I did a party for him because I've never done a party and I felt bad because just because his birthday is the day after Christmas, I mean, I did do parties at home, but I never did an outside party. I believe one year I did a Christmas Wonderland party for him in my basement. So I had snow all over. It was very nice. And then I had the cake cutting and everything. So I did parties here, but my older son, whose birthday is in February, not my older, middle, in February, I always did like hotel, like sleepover parties for him because when you have so much kids in a house, it becomes very chaotic because kids like to run. They like to run around and jump around and they make messes, and I cannot take that. So I normally like to have parties now outside of my home. I like the idea of hosting, but I don't like crowds at my house, which is bad because I have like a very big family. And that may sound selfish, but I do have a husband who's like he's very good at at cleaning. So we both clean, but when okay, so say we have like a big party, the night of the party, you would think we didn't have a party because we have to clean the house before we go to bed. So the fact that and so that's why I don't really like the hosting parties because of the mess. I prefer to go elsewhere to do it. So what else was I gonna say? So I did a Christmas Wonderland for my birthday, my son's birthday, and it was such a good party. But it was here, and all the kids loved it. All the kids had. I did a pajama party, like a Christmas pajama party for him, and it was the day after Christmas. And like because I normally just invite the same people to the my same friends and family, so it's not like new people. It's people who are very close to me and him. Um, so last year I did his first party outside of my house, and he turned 8 last year, so I did it at Great Wolf Lodge. But when we went last year, the rooms were what, like, they were expensive, but it's like this year they're doubling the rooms for Great Wolf Lodge. And I'm like, it's winter time. I know, yeah, it's an indoor water park. That's when it's most expensive. But it's the holidays. They can give us a break, put a sale on the room, you know? I don't understand why everything have to be so pricey. Like, put a sale on the room. So that's why I'm saying if I do have his party at Greyfoot Lodge, then I can't guarantee everyone can come because of the expense of the room. And I do understand it, but my immediately family will go. But my son, he likes his cousins and friends to be there to celebrate. You know how siblings are. They don't just always want to be with their sibling, they want to be with other people. So that's my dilemma for the holidays, guys. You heard everything. I have to do Christmas and I have to do a birthday party the day after. So that's why I normally say I love the holidays, but I don't like the holidays because of the stress and the hustle and bustle. I know we're supposed to find joy in Christmas, but the way people have made the holidays now, it's like it's so hard to find joy when you have to do so much. You have to, we don't have to do it, but because I have kids, I do it. I would prefer to just really just get on a plane and get away, and for us to be somewhere where we're catered to, because parents do so much. Excuse me, we do so much. We do so much as the years go by, as the year go by. So I feel like in December we should be reflecting, unwinding, relaxing. And but Christmas, it makes us not unwind. It makes us it gives us a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress. Well, me personally. So the holidays, who's here? Sorry. Okay, so the holidays, guys, the holidays, we're supposed to relax, but it's a lot of hustle and bustle. I'm trying to see because so there's a lot of hustle and bustle. So people don't relax on the holidays the way they should, because they're always trying to perfect things like decorate their houses and do that. I say people, but people, so I'm trying not to get I try to start very early so that I'm not, rushing or doing this and that. I don't like it. I prefer to just go away, but my family wants to stay here to celebrate with, our family, our cousins or aunties, and but as I get older, as my kids get older, I personally will not celebrate Christmas because I find joy in the lights and all the lights, but the other hustle and bustle, doing gifts and stuff, I am not good at that. I'm good at it, but not good. Like, I don't like to be rushed. I like to take my time. So I have to just find a way to, buy gifts and get everything prepared before actual Christmas Day. You know how some people start in January, in the beginning of like summertime? That probably will be me in the future, because just preparing for the holiday is just too much. I normally decorate my house. I'll show you guys, but um, it's like people charge, you know, I can't afford the way these people have gone so much with charging for everything. And with me, it's like if something stressed me out, like I'll start decorating, but if I'm stressed out, I will stop. Like, I will, like, whatever. It will look finished, but something, because I'm kind of like a perfectionist, and I hate that about myself because I want everything to be perfect. But In life, guys, please, everything don't have to be perfect. Things can be imperfect, you know. You can have be simple. Don't try to be over the top with these holidays. And I feel like that's what social media is teaching us, to be over the top and, you know, do this and do that. But we don't have to be. We You can have a simple holiday with your family. Just enjoy the moments. Don't stress, and do what's best for you. Do what you could do. So that's me this year. I'm being very simple, and I'm not doing over the top. I've done things in order, like the pajamas have been ordered, the tree, everything to decorate the tree is up, and I'm happy that I've in my household everyone just get two gifts, or they get one gift. That's it. They get two or one gifts, you know? So that's what I've been working on and I'm doing. So guys, thank you so much for coming on tonight. I really appreciate. I know I've just been blabbing for the rest. I've just been blabbing away. But I'll try to come on later. Right now I do have to go cook dinner. It's late. We have to eat. I have to make sure my children eat dinner, and believe it or not, they have to study for like 20 minutes. So that's I have to do when I'm prepared and everything. If I'm going out, I'll probably dress up and go have a, I would don't say like to do something with one of my girlfriends or something. But have a great night, and it was nice talking to you guys. Bye. Bye, Omni. Bye, everyone. Have a good night. Bye bye.